names out as we do it live. No camera trickery, no cuts or edits. We are going to be talking about them and what it might mean, and that's where I'm going to use Yanko and his incredible encyclopedic-like mind. So you ready for this, Yanko?
Yeah.
All right, well, first, actually, while Mincic's still shuffling away those envelopes, obviously, congratulations to Cloud9 there. You did go for Envious.
Yep.
I told you that, I'm telling you.
Yes, you were right yet again, Richard.
Yes,
it's fine.
Obviously, he's always right.
It's been a long break, you know. I'm a bit rusty myself. It's going to be fine coming into, you know, day 2 or 3.
But yeah, and a huge performance as well, of course, from Skadoodle as well. You know, like some incredible clutch rounds there, 2 of the super important ones. So yeah, absolutely amazing stuff. Now, just checking if we ready, we good to go? Right then, let's get into this, shall we? So the 0-1 teams, first name out of the envelopes, it's going to be Flipside. So they've been clinging on for dear life. Had a wretched performance today against Misfits. Definitely going to be looking to course correct.
It was very strange, the veto for that game. Them letting through Overpass. It wasn't known one of their stronger maps, as we talked about. Yeah. Misfits, one of their best maps. Even Sean Gare's tweeting, if you don't have Gabriel Toledo on your team, don't play Overpass against us. And now they get Team Liquid.
So what do you think of this one? Because Team Liquid looked very good against FaZe. I mean, that was another 16-14. So really contrasting fortunes for the 2 teams here. And I think Team Liquid, I think they'll be getting the better night's sleep in the hotel. So what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Still, you know, the big unknown with Flipside is still out there. And knowing their track record at major qualifiers, you would expect them to bounce back. But Liquid, you know, if Nitro and Twist can continue their run of form from the map earlier, I think they're the favorites in this one.
Yeah, okay, so we're ready for the next name out of the envelopes. And again, this isn't the order that the matches will be shown in. We're going to adjust that for broadcasting purposes. Flash Gaming, so they actually acquitted themselves very well against the disappointing G2. So Flash Gaming, the last-minute inclusion replacement for Tai Lu. They're going to be having their fingers crossed here as they hope to represent China very well indeed. And we're going to see who they're up against. Well, wouldn't you know it? Well, I actually know who this one is now. I can't get the logos wrong. It is, of course, QB Fire. So very interesting one. This is real bargain basement stuff. But I mean, that's great news for one of these 2 teams.
This
right?
is the luck of the draw, right? This means more than anything else that we're going to have another strong matchup further down the line. And obviously 2 of the teams that you don't really expect to come through this new challenger stage, but you know, it's going to give them an extra life, and maybe with some more luck of the draw down the line, they might make an upset or 2, but really this is going to be a tough one to predict.
Yeah, Flash Gaming probably is feeling pretty good about that one, but yeah, you're right. Totally wide open again. So the next name out, Mincic, yeah, absolutely ready when you are. And it's Envious, who we just saw in action there. A little bit sluggish against Cloud9. We're able to put some rounds on the board, but not enough to get into the 1-0 segment. So who are they going to be up against?
Still the likes of Renegades, and they do get Renegades. It's another soul-crushing matchup for both teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially for Renegades, considering they were up against Vega Squadron. They were favored in that particular matchup, almost mounting that comeback, losing out 16-14. Now they have a very, very difficult opponent in Envious in their second game.
Yeah, I'm going to say I think Renegades, few sleepless nights over that one, because Envious definitely looked probably the better out of the 2 and had the much tougher opponent. As you said, Renegades probably shouldn't be in this position. So at home, I'm sure you've already worked out who the last 2 names are, but we shall do it, yes. We have absolutely jump onto that. So Space Soldiers there, you can see. And Space Soldiers surprised me earlier today. I really thought they were going to do it against Sprout. Sprout said they weren't worried at all, which a bit of kidology. I think Space Soldiers have been looking good, but yeah, and there you go. It's a Vanguard. So that's an interesting one. I mean, I guess this is where we really find out if Space Soldiers are the real deal or not, right? If you can't put a Vanguard to bed, then it probably was all hype.
Yeah, absolutely. And also important to know that teams on the left are the teams with the higher seeds, so they get to pick whether they want to veto first or veto second. It all comes down from the initial seeding, right, where you finished it at the minor and so forth.
Okay, right. So we are shuffling now the 1-0s. These are the ones who had a much better day 1. We got Cloud9 over there. I don't know if we can get them on camera. They're hanging around late to see what they're going to get. Make sure it's all done and above board, and they go FaZe. just lurking. I remember these guys. You know, didn't have it all their own way, though. A lot of people see them as favorites for this major. A lot of people think they got to win this major with SK Gaming being depleted the way they are. And honestly struggled against Team Liquid using a stand-in. So who are they going to get? Round and round and round it goes.
Cloud9 crossing their fingers.
Yeah, Cloud9 hoping and praying. And Vegas Squadron, the gods of Pit, have been very kind to FaZe. That was the one they were hoping for. You can see the Cloud9 boys saying rats there. So just some feelings about that one. I mean, again, Vegas Squadron, they did very well to get the upset win today over Renegades. Very different beast against FaZe.
Absolutely. This is going to be probably a very one-sided matchup, seeing as how FaZe is favored even for the whole tournament. And Vega, we even considered a win against Renegades, an upset one. This is going to be a very much uphill struggle for Vega.
Yeah, a bit different to the old NIP stuff, isn't it? So the next name that's going to come out, courtesy of Minsik, is going to be Sprout. And as we said about that interview there, Dennis said feeling pretty good. And, you know, they put Space Soldiers to bed. I mean, that's a good win.
It's true, and there's a big question mark surrounding that team because they lost two of their... That's the core of the Penta lineup from the previous major. They lost both Sunny and HS, two of the heavy hitters, but they got two very experienced players in Speedy and Dennis, so it was always like, will they have enough firepower? And those two experienced players pretty much carried against Space Soldiers. So, you know, if they don't get too difficult of an opponent, you could see them continue their good run of form. You don't know much about them, even considering, you know, map pool, things like that. So being unknown is going to be an advantage, and they get Cloud9.
How do you feel about that one, guys? Yeah? Round of applause for that? Yeah, the Cloud9 boys like it. So Cloud9 coming out. As I said, Cloud9, I feel they're one of my kind of dark horse picks to do well at this tournament. And I've said it, they beat the teams that are below them in the rankings. They usually do it comfortably. They did it against Envious. I fancy them to do it against Sprout, honestly. So I think that is a very good draw for them. They can go back to the hotel now, all grins. Next name, I think we're ready. So you have it, Mouse Sports again. Another one of these teams, Yanko, where it's like, not quite sure how well they're going to do. They did obviously get the win today. Wasn't necessarily as convincing as they would have liked, though.
No, I think when you look at that, obviously they were the huge favorites to win the game. I think you look at the way they approached the game early on. They were giving a lot of respect to Avangard. So that's always, you know, both sides of the blade. They get Na'Vi as their matchup here. And they actually match up well against Na'Vi, at least last year. But, you know, you look at how G2 approached the game against Flash, almost came back to bite them. They were playing with a lot of disrespect. Mouse Sports, it was relatively close, but they were in control throughout. So against Na'Vi, obviously, a whole different beast, and that's going to be a nice test for Na'Vi.
And an interesting new dimension added to it, because Mouse Sports just had Simple as a stand-in for a tournament, so maybe Simple's got a bit of insight into what will be his opponents rather than his teammates. The last two names, and as Yanko obviously pointed out, the order is important, so let's see. It's going to be Misfits. Sean Gare's guys got the win today. Very comprehensive. The most dominant win of the day over Flipside. And, of course, that means they will be playing the last name. It's G2. So...
yeah, the franchise against the franchise, right? That's also going to be an interesting matchup, and I think G2 will be satisfied with this one, considering they could have gotten the likes of FaZe or Mouse Sports or Na'Vi. Misfits are objectively weaker, so, you know, they had a shaky performance today, but you expect them to step up as the tournament goes on. Yeah,
so there you go. You can see those are the matches we've got. And again, this isn't in order. So it's Flipside versus Team Liquid, Flash Gaming versus QB Fire, Envious versus Renegades, Space Soldiers versus Avangard, FaZe versus Vegas Squadron, Sprout versus Cloud9, Mouse Sports versus Na'Vi, and Misfits versus G2 Esports. Thanks very much for that, Minsik. So we've given our thoughts. What we're going to do now, of course, is go off the air. And all you have to do now is tune in tomorrow, get some rest. We're going to do it. We're going to be energized because we are getting to the thick end of the wedge already. Some amazing matches for you. 10 a.m. Eastern. Make sure you tune in on Twitch. And until then, from everybody here at the E-League Studios, take care.
I got rage every day on the inside. The only thing I do is sit around and kill time. I'm trying to blow out the pilot light. I'm trying to blow out the light. I'm just young enough to still believe. But young enough not to know what to believe in. Young enough not to know what to believe.